Hey everyone, it's Susan Pierce Thompson and welcome to the weekly vlog. Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those long emotional ones. So if you don't like those ones, you might want to not watch this. I'm recording this on Wednesday and I don't always record the vlog on Wednesday. Sometimes I'm smart. I record them in advance. And when I don't and I save the vlog for Wednesday, then I guess what I'm learning is that means I need to rock and roll with whatever shows up on Wednesday and be ready to get in front of the camera. So, yeah, I'm pretty vulnerable and like candid and open in vlogs. And I've talked with my dear friend Sage Levine, who also puts out a video blog and has a big tribe of women that she, she's into. Her stuff is about, women rocking business. And I've asked her, do you think I'm too vulnerable? And she says, it's fine to be vulnerable. You just, you need to make sure that like, if you're sharing, the deep water, that you're not still up to your neck in it. Like you need to make sure that it's receded and it's down to your knees so that they can still feel a little bit of the emotion, but like you've processed it and, you're good now. And, she says, you don't want them to feel swept away with you. You need to be able to hold them in the space of what you're conveying to them and share the lesson. And, usually I can do that. Usually I come to you with stuff that I've kind of mostly processed and I bring it just raw enough, but, today is not one of those days. Today I saved the vlog till Wednesday and today showed up pretty intense. And, this morning I was, on the floor crying. Not how I start every day, but it's how I started today. And, my husband and I had gotten into a fight and he'd said and done something that really upset me. And I, played my own part in that and provoked it for sure. As anyone who's married knows, it's always a two-way street. And, there is a point to all this. I promise I will bring this around to Bright Line Eating. You may be aware, cause I published the vlog on it last week, that the book came out and, we were waiting last Wednesday. I recorded the vlog on last Wednesday too. And, we were waiting to see if the book would hit the New York Times bestseller list. And, this little baby right here, now I'm all off center. This jacket is bad to wear on camera cause it's always off center. Anyway, this book, it hit the New York Times bestseller list. It's number 5 this week on the New York Times bestseller list. And, that was like, one of my, I don't know if it was a lifelong goal. I mean, I don't know that I ever thought of writing a book until actually not that long ago, but, certainly once I had the idea to write a book, I was kind of hoping that it would hit the New York Times bestseller list. And it did. And, thank you for that, because you made that happen. All your support and all your love and all your cheering and the books that you bought and telling your friends. And I hope you've gotten your copy. I hope you've read it. I hope you're enjoying it. And so I was driving down the road. I think this was like day before yesterday. And I was stressing about something, maybe that the Department of Labor is coming to audit us. It's like a random thing, but that's scary, right? Audits. And, I don't remember what else, just all kinds of stuff was coming up. And I was thinking about how it had been 5 days since the book hit the bestseller list and I wasn't feeling happy. And of course, when the book hit the list, I was super happy. I was elated. It was bliss, right? And I was reflecting about how it was 5 days later and I wasn't feeling happy. And it was reminding me of a lesson that I used to teach in my positive psychology class in college. I taught a course on positive psychology, sometimes not so skillfully known as the psychology of happiness, but there is a lot of psychology of happiness in it for sure. And one of the things that I would teach my students, one of the primary lessons in the psychology of happiness is that circumstances don't really make us happy. And it's shocking, actually, how fleeting external circumstances are to our general well-being. And there's this famous study that was published about paraplegics and lottery winners, you might have heard this. They studied people a few months after they won a big lottery jackpot, and they studied people a few months after they'd been in an accident that had left them quadriplegic. And there was, not as big a difference as you might have imagined in their happiness levels just a few months later. We're talking like 6 months later. And as a matter of fact, the quadriplegics rated more genuine happiness in little things like, a good cup of coffee or reading a good magazine article or having lunch with a friend, and had greater anticipation of happiness in the future. Like they had more hope for their future than did people who just won a huge lottery. And it's kind of interesting. Like these findings were published a while ago, and there's been more research following this up on professors getting tenure or not getting tenure, and what a big deal that is in their lives, and how quickly they're back to their baseline level of happiness. And the bottom line of all this research is no matter what happens to you, in really short order, you're back to your baseline level of happiness. Like no matter what awful thing, no matter what good thing. Like it's kind of shocking. We call it the hedonic treadmill. This idea that your circumstances can improve, your salary can double, all kinds of good things can happen to you, and in just a matter of weeks or months, you're back to your baseline level of happiness. You're on this treadmill that no matter what good comes your way, you're going to basically just end up in the same spot. No matter what bad comes your way, you're going to end up in the same spot. And so 2 days ago, I was driving down the road and I was thinking about this. I was like, I'm pretty much the same. I mean, I'm a New York Times bestselling author, and that feels great, don't get me wrong. But it was reminding me of what does and doesn't actually make us happier. And it was reminding me of that lesson from positive psychology. And so what I know about happiness from my Bright Line Eating journey is that Bright Line Eating does make me happier. But I want to explain that it's not the way you might think. I spent my teenage years heavy. And now that I look back at pictures, actually my childhood heavy, I never thought that I was a heavy kid, and I was just looking at pictures of me when I was 7 and 8 years old, and I was heavy. I didn't feel like a fat kid, and I wasn't obese, but I was heavy when I was 8. And when I was 13, when I was 14, when I was 15, when I was 16, I would look at girls that had just the little lithe little figure, just thin. And I thought that they were living in some kind of magical world. Can you relate to that? That thin people just have it perfect? I remember thinking that way. I really did. And I don't know what if a devil of a fairy godmother had shown up right then and said, hey, you want to be thin? I'll wave a magic wand. Give me your brain. Give me your soul. Give me your whatever. I don't know what I would have traded to be in a thin body at that time. I mean, I do know that at the age of 17, I was willing to do crystal meth on a daily basis to stay thin, to get thin and stay thin. And that lasted for, just long enough to make me crazy. So yeah, I was willing to trade a lot to be thin. And when I got thin, it was a pretty heady thing. I mean, I was snorting speed up my nose. So, I didn't get there healthfully, and I didn't get there by taking good care of my body, and I didn't get there by eating healthy food. I got there by eating nothing and snorting white powder on my nose. And there I was thin, and I felt powerful, and I felt attractive, and I felt elated. And I mean, speed makes you feel that way anyway. If you've ever done meth, it's a head job for sure. And I guess, I don't know, was that happiness? I work with so many people who just want to be thin. They just want to be thin. And they're just striving to get to goal weight. And I'm at goal weight. I was crying on the floor this morning. And I am a thin person living life on life's terms. And Bright Line Eating does make me happier, but it's not because I'm thin. Like, I'm looking at this body and, just stressed out about whether my jacket is off center, because I'll watch the video afterwards and it'll annoy me if it is. I'm looking down at my body and I'm like, yeah, it's nice. It's nice to be thin. It is. And it's not what makes me happy. It's really not. And when you get to goal weight, you will find that you still have life on life's terms. You still got the same kids, you still got the same spouse, you still got the same career, you still got the same character flaws, you still got the same hopes and aspirations. Like, it's all the same stuff, really. Now you're in a thin body. There's a little bit of loss of an unmoored feeling from losing the lifelong striving to get thin. You probably aren't factoring that in, of like what a doozy it is to have that gone. That takes some adjusting, for sure. So why am I helping people get thin? Like, really, what's the point of that? It's nice to have, and it's certainly nice to not be unhealthy. But what I want to share is the other piece of what we teach in positive psychology, what I used to teach in positive psychology, which is that there are things that actually make us happier. There are, for sure. For me, Prince music is one of them. After I got up off the floor this morning, I took a shower and I put on some Prince music. And the first song, I don't know, you ever do this music therapy where just the right song comes on the radio at the right time? The first song that came on was this song called Sometimes It Snows in April. And it's like the saddest song ever. It's a song that Prince sings to a friend who died. And I was like, well, that's fitting. And then came Erotic City, and then came Lady Cab Driver. This is like random shuffle out of thousands and thousands of songs. If you're a diehard Prince fan, you understand that those are some of the best songs ever. So I was feeling pretty good at that point. And so music therapy makes us happier. There actually is some research on that, but that's apropos of nothing. What we do in Bright Line Eating that makes us happier is we change the way we eat. Stopping eating sugar and flour and starting to eat massive quantities of vegetables is actually one of the things that research shows really does actually make you happier. There's just brain chemistry involved in that. There's body chemistry and there's brain chemistry. It's got to do with omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids. You might not understand how stopping eating sugar and flour would have anything to do with your omega fatty acids, but it does, because when you stop eating packaged cookies and crackers and all that crap, all of a sudden your vegetable oil consumption comes way down and you're not eating all that partially hydrogenated soybean oil that's in all that packaged junk anymore. And instead of 20 to 25% of your daily calories coming from vegetable oil, all of a sudden it's not. And all of a sudden your brain starts to heal because it's not saddled with, 25 times more omega-6s than omega-3s. I know probably some of you are kind of like going, what's she talking about? But research shows that seriously makes you happier, and all the phytonutrients and phytochemicals and stuff that are in all those fruits and vegetables start to make you happier. Changing your diet the way we do in Bright Line Eating is one of the things that really does make you happier. So I put my food on the scale this morning, and I weighed out my 1 ounce of oats, and I weighed out my 6 ounces of organic, unsweetened vanilla soy yogurt, homemade by me, and I weighed out my 1/2 ounce of ground flax seeds and my 6 ounces of blueberries and blackberries, and it was so delicious. And then at lunch, I had my 4 ounces of chicken and my 6 ounces of baby bok choy and grilled onions and peppers, and my 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, and my apple, my 6 ounces of apple. And I nourished myself with my food. And I'm going to have a delicious dinner tonight. And those actions will make me happier. Like, that's take it to the bank. And I meditated for 30 minutes this morning. And starting a daily meditation practice is another thing. Take that one to the bank. That's going to make you happier. One of my favorite sayings that I used to teach my students is, happiness is a byproduct of right living. And I kind of feel like that's a little judgy, like, I don't know, right living, you know what I mean? But I'm like, there are certain things, like going to bed at night and getting up in the morning. That sounds really trivial, right? I used to have a hard time doing that. I used to go to bed at 4 a.m. and wake up at 2 in the afternoon when I was depressed because of the food I was putting in my mouth. Yeah, like, I didn't go to bed at night and get up in the morning. Going to bed at night, getting up in the morning, making your bed, eating healthy, delicious, nutritious food. Meditating every morning. And having work that's meaningful, being married. Those are some of the things. Having a faith or a religion. These things actually, those few things that I just mentioned, actually do significantly increase your happiness. Research shows. Happiness is a byproduct of right living. It's, we might think that we're going to be happy when we get to goal weight. I was just coaching one of my dearest, Bright Line Eating beloved gals. She lives in England. She's Israeli originally. And, is that right? Yeah, I think that's right. Anyway, Tammy. And she was saying, you know, Susan, I'm at goal weight and I'm not happy. I still feel overweight. Sometimes in my head, I'm still a fat person, or I feel heavy sometimes. And I was just thinking about that. That call was just yesterday. I was on the phone with her, and I was thinking, yeah, that is just the way it is sometimes, where we get to goal weight and it still feels somehow not enough, or the happiness that we sought for, that we longed for, it's not in the size 6 jeans. It's really not. And, you know, we get into the size 6 jeans and we want them to be size 4 jeans or whatever, you know. We get into the size 4 jeans and we want, you know, the extra skin to go away, or the dimples to go off the back of the thighs, or the, you know, whatever, you know, like pretty much all of us, when we get into a right size body, we're still not going to be swimsuit models. Sorry. I know it's awful. Thank God for clothes, right? So I feel like I'm rambling here, and I am. I'm just enjoying spending time with you. Like I said, you know, when I save the vlog for Wednesday, it's kind of like I have to show up in front of the camera, like no matter what. And that's not always the easiest thing. But I guess what I want to share about the book, this amazing, amazing book that we put out into the world, that you helped me put out into the world, that's written based on your experience and your stories, and that's carried to the New York Times bestseller list on your love and your enthusiasm and your support. Publishing that book, I don't know if it's making me happier today, like in that sort of, yay, I'm happy sense, but it's one of the most meaningful, significant things I've ever done in my life. And I would say that getting to goal weight, the way we do it in Bright Line Eating, not the crystal meth way, the way we do it in Bright Line Eating, by putting our food on the scale and eating the vegetables and eating the delicious fruits and the just profoundly healthy food, and resuming when necessary, and not eating after dinner, just like dinner's done, the meal is over, the day of food is over. I know a lot of people lately have been struggling with that, so I just wanted to throw that one in there. It's one of these things that's like hard-earned, you know? You don't get that one for free. No one's going to come and wave a magic wand and do that for you. It's like writing this book was a long slog. And when you earn something like that, it really logs, I think, in the soul. Like, well done. Well done. And there you are, living life on life's terms. Not happier necessarily, but better for the journey. Better for the journey. Wouldn't have done it any other way. So I guess I just wanted to share about what makes us happier, because if you're thinking that you're going to be happier when, I just want to remind you that happiness is now. And a lot of people talk about happy, thin, and free, and they'll couch it. Happier, on the way to thin, and mostly free. And I just want to challenge you to claim happy, thin, and free today. Wherever you are on the journey, you're happy, thin, and free is a state of mind. Happy, thin, and free is your birthright. Happy, thin, and free is right here, right now. Whether you woke up crying on the floor this morning or feeling pretty good because you've been sticking with your bright lines, I just want to remind you that there's no day that can't be made better and topped off into awesomeness by weighing out 3 beautiful meals, sitting in meditation for a little while, calling the people you need to call for support, posting online if you can get support that way too, and living this bright line life. Like, these daily behaviors are the only thing that I know of that permanently raises our baseline level of happiness. I have not had an episode of major depression since before 2003, when I started eating this way. I don't remember when I think I was in chronic depression before that for many years. And when I started eating this way, it lifted. This way of eating and this way of living makes us happier, but not because we get to goal weight. Don't wait for it. It's not out there. It's right here. Right here, right now. Happiness, contentment, peace. A bright line day. It's right here. For me and for you. So, with that said, I just want to say that if you could, I would love you to go onto Amazon and write a review of the book. We got 410 as of today, and I want 1,000. And I will not be happier when I get 1,000 reviews on Amazon, but it will still feel very satisfying for the moment. So if you would help me get to 1,000 reviews on Amazon, I would be so appreciative. If you've read the book and you can say something genuine and honest about it, give it however many stars it earned, and I would be so appreciative. And I love you, and I will see you next week on the weekly vlog.